Alright kids, today we're looking at this guy, the Insta360 Ace Pro, the new camera from Insta360. It's got a big fat sensor, shoots 8K, has some AI features, pretty fast processing and interface. You know, the usual, oh, it's got a flip up screen. I'm sure everybody's seen that horse shit already, right? Well, let me tell you what it doesn't have. I can tell you what all the other influencers probably aren't telling you. One, there's no 10-bit color, so if you're a pro that bought this because it says pro in the name, it's not pro. There's no 10-bit color. There is no log profile of any kind. There's no way to, as far as I know, there's no way to manually set up a log profile like you can on GoPro. There is no color space bypass. There's no native white balance. You can set it statically, which is great, I'm sure. I mean, it's got some neat usability features. I mean, it's not the worst camera I've ever used as far as the user experience. What it's not capable of doing, though, is existing on a drone for longer than, I don't know, 10 minutes. I took it for a flight today, did not impact anything, and the back screen is cracked, even though there was nothing behind the camera since I was flying my X8 and the batteries are underslung. So I don't know if you can see that horse shit there. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Fuck it. Whatever. You can't see the cracked screen. The screen still works fine. None of the functionality has been reduced at all, but I can definitely feel the crack. So like the glass is actually part of that outer surface, which on an action camera, why would you put glass on the outside surface that's not optical, right? He's just asking for shit to break, and I'm sure that this screen, it is super stiff. It is very skookum. When I saw, you know, the other YouTubers looking at it, it was like, oh yeah, that flip up screen. I'm thinking like the flip out screen, like on my wife's Canon R5, right? This thing is pretty, the joint is pretty skookum. I wouldn't like recommend trying to fly it with the screen out, but it does latch closed, which is also nice. But it's easy to forget to close it, much like it's easy for that little magnetic doohickey there to forget to latch it shut. So yeah, it's pretty skookum, opens and closes fairly well. But I'm a colorist, right? So I care about color and acquisition. I bought the camera because I was intrigued by the low light performance. That's something that GoPro has been kind of falling flat on their face with, and haven't really done anything about. I think largely because the low light action cam scene is pretty tame right now. But I think if I had an action cam that could shoot well in low light, I would probably do more night flights, and I think that would be cool. Because right now there's a limited amount of good cameras that you can do that with. The gyro flow support is very limited. There's the free frame mode, which I'm guessing is no digital distortion type of thing. It's a 4x3 acquisition. I think it's the full sensor, but you're stuck in 4K. There's no 8K, and that's the only way you can get it into gyro flow and actually have it come out looking like it's supposed to, as opposed to having like weird compressed edges and super hyper spherical centers, or like it's just kind of a shit show. And speaking of which, yes, it's got that 1/1.3 inch sensor. That's great and all, but let's talk about that for a second. First off, under the best conditions, the sensor readout time is slower than that of a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. That means a lot of jello. That means a lot of rolling shutter effect that you have to compensate for. Now, it's great that in gyro flow you can compensate for that. That's fancy, but at its slowest, we're talking almost 30 milliseconds for the readout time, which is, in 2023, that's unacceptable. Would have loved to have rather had a global shutter on it, since it is an action cam, or at least a shutter so fast that rolling shutter scan time was pretty much not even worth mentioning, like GoPro, for instance. I don't know, it's disappointing implementation. And then I saw something on Reddit where somebody from Insta360 said the hardware's not there for 10-bit log, and to that I would like to call bullshit. How are you building a camera in 2023 that does not have the ability to right in 10 bits. Right? It should just be a firmware update, just like it was for other cameras in the past. So with that, let's get into some clips. A little bit of housekeeping ahead of time here. All of the clips from the Insta360 are completely untouched. I'm editing and rendering this video in 8K, so hopefully those of you who want to pixel peep can take a look at the 8K pieces. I don't know anybody who has an 8K display. I sure as shit don't. But it's there in case you want to fuck with it. What else is going on here? So yeah, also the audio is shit. Under normal circumstances, like walking around talking with it, it's great. It's as good, if not maybe even slightly better than GoPro. You put the thing on a drone and it completely shits the bed. It's just horrendous. So you'll get a little bit of a comparison between what the Insta360 sounds like on my X8 and what a GoPro Hero 12 sounds like on my X8, mounted in the same way. So with that, let's get on to some clips. Hey, Future Joe here. So here's the deal. I bought this fucking camera with my own money. I was not sponsored. Nobody asked me to review. Nobody's offering me anything in kind to make a review. In fact, why the fuck would Insta360 want me to review this camera the way I'm reviewing? So, just so you know, I'm not shilling out. I was curious about it. I bought it. I'm probably going to try to return it unless I find some other kind of killer application for it. Maybe low light now that it's dark outside. That'll come later. But as a tool that goes alongside my GoPro, my fleet of GoPros, fuck no, not even a little bit. So anyway, on to the footage. Well, got our Insta360 fucking whatever, man. Alright, so I'm not sure if you can see this horseshit in this video here, but if you look at the blooming, right, there's a ton of blooming in the blues, right? The blues are getting clipped or something by the oranges in the trees. It's really ugly. I think this is a HDR mode, but that's hideous. Totally unacceptable. Know what I mean? Fucking whatever. How the fuck are those on? That's some bullshit. So a couple things. Really disappointed that there's no 10-bit video. There's no vlog. There's no special firmware. Been seeing a lot of knuckleheads on the YouTubes comparing this to the GoPro Hero 12. Got a lot of neat features, right? But just pulling it out of the box, start shooting with it, it's pretty good. Gyro flow support is tremendously limited. You got to use the free frame mode, which means you don't get any 8K. And it kind of pisses me off because fucking you don't get the fancy HDR mode. I mean, you can put that file into gyro flow, but it'll fucking break on you. So I do like the face exposure thing. It tries to prioritize the face. That's pretty neat. I haven't dicked with any of the AI stuff yet, but from a color standpoint, so far, it's pretty garbage. 8-bit in 2023 on a fucking camera they call Pro. Are you fucking serious right now? So, I don't know. I'm gonna take it for a flight this afternoon. We'll see how it holds up in the air. Okay, so here's 8K, ultra lens, stabilization default, and this time I've got mode settings on auto, so the sky doesn't look quite as good as it did in the fancy HDR mode. You can see the banding though in the highlights, just even on the screen. That's a little concerning. Yeah, let's try another one. Okay, bye. So, I don't know how well that's... So this one should be pretty obvious. You can see the contrast, the local contrast blooming around the trees. When I zoom it out, it's really, yeah, that's absolutely terrible. And that's all in camera. That's the pure view or whatever the fuck it's called. Absolute garbage. 1 star, would not recommend. It's working. This is pure video or some shit. I'm zoomed in. Pop that out. Let me zoom out. I don't know if that worked. This is pure video, so I don't really know what the fuck it's supposed to do other than low light. Whatever the fuck. Who knows? Here's 4K zoomed in. I think I'm So this 4K crop, it does not look too bad, although for whatever reason the sensor has a lot of noise in the highlights as well as the shadows. So you can see some of the detail in the trees in the background are getting lost in the noise there. But there's still some blue clipping happening in the trees versus the sky. I think it's cropped in on the sensor. We'll see what that looks like. Stabilization set to high. Good times. Seems a little... it's a bit jittery. Not a fan. I don't know. I feel like I can really upset it. Anyway, so this has been my short little walkthrough, experimental walkthrough of the Insta360 Ace Pro. Not that impressed. Okay, bye. Okay, so here we go for the X8. We're gonna give this Insta360 a good flight here. Running 8S. See them big old chunky motherfuckers under there. We'll see how this works. I think we're in 4K 24 HDR with flow state stabilization on, I think. I don't know what the fuck that was. Not a fucking clue. Okay, so we did the D-warp. Jesus Christ, the stabilization is crazy. All right, time to mount this shit and take it for a spin. Okay, bye. Wow, okay. That is not easy. Come on, you little clippy fucker. You gotta yank on it and make sure it's not gonna come off. Okay. So I did these two flights on the same pack just to try to get everything done at once, since I had a pretty big battery, and I cut the two flights down for brevity just to make sure they didn't last 8 minutes long or whatever. I didn't hit anything in this flight, and it was after this flight that I noticed the back screen was cracked. So that's pretty disappointing. I'm wondering if it has something to do with wind turbulence causing a vibration. But I'm also noticing a lot of jello and a lot of noise in the sensors, so quality is not there. I guess we're recording. Fucking hell. A heap of shit. So I believe I have the mic in stereo mode, which is where I usually keep my GoPro for when I'm playing the X8, because I really enjoy the sound of those 8 rotors. You can hear it really fall apart, and there's a lot of digital errors, like it's trying to apply some kind of an AI model to the audio. It sounds absolutely horrendous, and even at low speed, the air whooshing by caused by the front set of 4 rotors. It's just changing the whole intonation. It's absolute trash. Yeah, not a fan. Next clip is a little bit of a comparison. It's from the GoPro Hero 12 on the same drone mounted in the same manner in the same location. You can obviously tell there's a distinct quality difference in the audio. Well, there you have it, guys. My 2 cents or 10 cents, I guess, on the Insta360 Ace Pro. Not really a pro camera. Would not recommend for any serious aerial cinematographer or filmmaker or anybody who needs an action cam that wants to do more than just take the file off the camera and put it on the internet. If anybody from Insta360 is watching, please fix your shit. This isn't rocket surgery. They're like, DJ figured it out almost on the first try. Not hard. Yeah, so there you go. That's it. If you give a shit and you want to see more, you can hit the Discord in my doobly-doo, and you can hit the Patreon in my doobly-doo. I don't paywall anything, so if you just want to support me and support the channel, feel free. If not, that's cool too. Just hang out. Yeah, so I guess that's it then, huh? I guess we're done. So I shut this shit down. Okay. Bye!